All right, today is November 26th, Tuesday, 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard. Let's take a look at the charts and see what we're looking at for the week here. So it's Thanksgiving week. It's going to be a light week in the markets with Thursday off, Friday being a half day. Probably going to be some light volume, not a whole lot of earnings or anything on Wednesday. So tomorrow will probably be a pretty light volume day in the markets. However, we do have a number of economic reports tomorrow that I'll just pull over on the screen here. So tomorrow, I would say morning session is probably going to be pretty interesting with jobless claims. We've got trades, durable goods. We've got GDP, PCE, and core PCE. So I think between 8:30 and 11 a.m. tomorrow, probably going to be a pretty hot market. And then it will probably cool off as we go into Thanksgiving. So, what are we looking at here as far as the charts and the setups? So, I will say right now we're in a little bit of a drawdown. We've had really just a stroke of some losses, some bad luck in a row here. Nothing crazy to really highlight. I would say the recent one was CAD. So, yesterday um, we got liquidated on this major selling pressure. I think there were some tweets on tariffs from Trump talking about tariffs between Canada and the US here. So we had a pretty significant drop here and then a pullback. I mean, that touched my stop, and we get out of that. We'll look for potential re-entry at some point in the future. Other things that we're looking at. So from a momentum standpoint, I am looking at a couple of trades here. One being Ethereum, getting back in here. We did take profits a little bit early, and I'm looking for a little bit more selling pressure before we can re-enter. Or Bitcoin. Bitcoin as well would be also relatively a good entry here. I'm trying to think of the ticker for one of these ETFs. So yeah, we might want to look to enter one of these on a pullback. Bitcoin is under some selling pressure lately, back down to about $91,000 as opposed to where it was just inches away from 100,000. But that's something we're going to keep eyeing. Other momentum trades, we are in on gold. Gold getting flagged from our momentum system here. We actually had 5 green candles up here. The moving averages hadn't crossed yet. We had this big liquidation, about 3.5% drop, and then we had a green day today, and that is where the momentum indicator picked us up and flagged us as a buy. As the moving averages are still crossed, we've had a substantial amount of volume trading in gold, so we are in on a gold position. And lastly, cotton is having an interesting 6 candle run here. Looks like, yeah, not too much volume, which is really interesting. If you look at these candles here, the volume on this day, 51. That's 21,051. I wonder if the market was closed there for some reason. The 25th yesterday. Yeah, I'm not totally sure. Light volume day, 21,000 there. But we've had these rips higher, and we're getting flagged for an entry with our momentum indicator to buy here. So looking to enter a position here. We're also kind of flirting with a bit of a breakout, and we're near, I think, multi-year lows here. I mean, the last time we saw lows at these levels would have had to have been back all the way to 2020. Wow. Yeah, this thing is at 2020. It's at 4-year lows. 4-year lows in cotton here. Tagged it at a monster green candle for the week, and we're trading up past 5 days. So looking past 6 days, looking pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that is today, the 26th. Yep. So 6 green days in a row. Kind of a light candle here, but still looking pretty bullish. So we're going to go and look to enter on the long side from our momentum indicator. And then from contrarian reversals that we're looking at. So we're looking at euro being really beaten down here. We're looking at Canadian dollar, which again, we got liquidated yesterday. We're looking at natural gas, which is probably a trade that we missed. We're looking at cattle, which is currently trending up, but this may have been a news failure on the 25th. There was some bullish news on cattle, and it closed lower, and then it traded up a little bit today. So we may look to enter that position here. And then we've got New Zealand dollar that's really battered, but looking for a reversal. And silver, also looking for a reversal there. So currently trading down, but that's what we're looking at right now. Tomorrow is going to be interesting as far as jobless claims. GDP, PCE. We're going to follow that closely. I think gold and silver can usually have a good amount of price action on those days. So I would love to see gold really start to trade up here. And maybe even have another, if we're making higher lows, if we make higher lows here, like if this is the bottom and then we had a sell, some selling pressure, we have this like little bottom wick here. Contract also rolled over, but we have this bottom wick. And if we can start to trade higher off of that, that would make a lot of sense to me. This would be kind of the corrective wave and then into this next bull run. So gold could be interesting. Other than that, we're probably not taking too many other trades here this week. We're just looking at cotton from a momentum buy. We're looking at getting back into Ethereum. We're in on gold. We're probably going to take a cattle position at some point to go short. I am not too sure when, but we're going to eye it really closely here. I like this candle as a reversal, assuming we don't close above that. So I'm going to eye that closely. And yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at for the week here. It's going to be a light week, like I said. I've got some notes here on the side here on nat gas we probably missed. Live cattle we talked about. CAD waiting on a reversal. New Zealand dollar waiting for a reversal. Silver. Heating oil actually removed from here, but we are looking at waiting for a further sell-off and reversal on that. We're in on gold. Ethereum and cotton, we remain anticipating a buy. So close that one there. And not really any stocks to watch this week either, given the fact that it is a light week with Thanksgiving. But that's what we're looking at, and I'll put this together in the weekly report, and we will talk soon. Thanks, guys.